Yep, I did. I took a picture of us. Hey, good day. Have affirmations never really worked for you, right? Have you ever tried to do affirmations or heard about it, and then it just didn't seem like it actually came true, or it actually was working the way they all said it was supposed to work, right?
Hmm.
So Drew and I have tried affirmations for a decade at least. And there are things that have worked well for us, and there are things that haven't worked well for us. And we're here to share those with you today so that you can also use this as a practice in your day to day life, in your daily life, in your daily routines, and finally have that success that you've been looking for with affirmations or whatever term it is that you want to use.
Yeah, and I'd say the first thing, well, that comes to mind is, how are you using your affirmations? But first, it's more about getting into what an affirmation
Right.
is, because
Yes.
sometimes
Thank
there's
you.
some disagreement around this. And I mean,
Hmm.
I've got my own idea and definition of the word and term, but why don't you take them through some of the things you've seen recently where people have tried to say that's not an affirmation or that is an affirmation?
Hmm.
Like, how would you, kind of compare things that are sometimes labeled as affirmations or really are kind of labeled something else, but they're affirmations, or the spirit of the affirmation, I think is the most important
Hmm.
thing. And then the technicality of how you define it, or in this case, use it.
Hmm. So, affirmations, essentially, when I think about what an affirmation is, I think of it as a statement of truth. It's just a statement that you say to yourself. A lot of times, or you can say it to anybody else also, it's just a statement. Um, so, you can think about this in a lot of different ways. It can be something where you say, I own my house. That is an affirmation. You can say, I am smart. That is an affirmation, right? You can say any statement, and that is an affirmation. Now, whether it makes you feel good or makes you feel not good, um, that is that is dependent on you, right?
Yep.
And that is dependent on the affirmations that you choose to use. And so, a lot of people, when you get started with affirmations, they will say that we're talking about self care, we're talking about self love. So, I'm going to bring it only to the self. And I'm going to say that many times you say the affirmations start with the words I am.
Hmm.
I am this, I am that. I am this, I am that. And a lot of times that you're using affirmations, the point of using affirmations is generally taught so that you can um, become something else. You can improve an area of your life. And so, if you are feeling uncomfortable about money, or you don't like money, or you don't feel like you have it, you don't like the topic of it, so there are some people out there that will say use affirmations to change your subconscious thinking about money, to say I am a money magnet, I am a millionaire, I am this, and the idea there is the affirmation is what you are going to step into eventually.
Hmm. And I like part of that because, really the wealth starts in the mind, right? You have to have a millionaire mindset. My mentor, Jim Rohn, says, if somebody all of a sudden gives you $1 million, one of the things you'd better do quickly is become a millionaire,
Hmm.
meaning acquire a millionaire mindset.
Hmm.
And so looking at how all that plays into this is very important because, sometimes you've maybe never heard statements that have to do with wealth or riches or health. And so it makes sense for you to start by saying, I am healthy, I am, I am rich, I am abundant in thinking, right? So we can start to hear those words to reprogram a lot of the negative stinking thinking that's maybe plagued us. So, I think it can be helpful to start with some of those aspirational, affirmations if you're lacking a lot of the positivity in your life, because those labels can be, empowering, but you do want to start by affirming in truth the highlights of things that are accurate about you, that you're
Right.
smart, that you're strong, that you're lovable, that you're capable, and make sure that you're being, told pretty much I love you by you,
Hmm.
if you don't feel like in your life no one's there to be saying that to you in the moment.
Right. And you know what? You say something that's so important, and we have to stay on this for a second. And that is, there is benefit to saying a positive statement, But I can tell you from personal experience that when I have done some affirmations and I have just taken affirmations that somebody says, just read these 10 affirmations over and over and over every day. If those aren't affirmations that really ring true to me, it feels like I'm lying to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that. I don't care for that. I feel like it's not true. It's just, and then it becomes something where it's like you're saying words, but the words either have no meaning, or more often than not, they have a negative connotation behind it, because it's saying, because as you say the words, you're also intuitively saying, no, that's not true.
Mm. Yeah.
And that can really, really be harmful. And so the value that I've gotten out of affirmations is really figuring out how affirmations work for me and what I'm currently affirming.
Mm-hmm.
I could currently be like, at the beginning of all this, I was currently affirming, or I was then affirming, like, that these things were not working in our life. Like, those were the truths that I was saying. And so many people were just programmed to say, like, the things that are wrong.
Yeah, it's important to affirm the things that you're right. And for me, I personally like to, leaning into the action piece, I like to affirm the actions that I'm taking in that moment, right? I
Mhm.
am working towards, these particular goals that I have set in my life, right? I am leaning into my own greatness. And, you can get into more granular or specific areas of life while you're doing them, but, to be affirming the truth in the present, right? I am making healthy choices, right? I'm making smarter decisions about my health. These are things that you can put in the present because you want to be able to acknowledge the actions that you're taking, because there's a genesis of those actions, right? If you're a person moving from what feels like a lack of health into the world of health, each step along that way, each step along that journey, you want to be able to capture that, because you're helping to define for yourself what's actually
Mhm.
possible. And documenting those moments in the journey, I think, can be, quite beneficial when you get to the one of your peaks, or to the top of your mountain, or to the next ascension point, where you recognize, like, my, oh my, I've come a long way. It's not just my height, but it's who I've become in this process.
Mhm. Yeah. And, there's a number of different ways where you can um, affirm positive things in your life, no matter where you are right now, because there is always something to be grateful for. There is always somewhere where you can feel love. So, like, love, praise, gratitude, all of these feelings that are like feel good feelings, like, you can find these right now in your life. You might be broke, you might be destitute, you might be homeless, you might be having a terrible trauma, or having gone through a terrible trauma, but there's always a way to find those virtues inside of yourself, And so when we had our third son, it really, for me, that was a big changing point, a big turning point, because I was able to feel just this level of gratitude that I hadn't felt before. And I think a lot of it was because of, intentional, like, mindset training, intentional, like, focus on all the good things that are happening.
Hmm.
And it was just like, once you start to see the good things in your life, you can see more and more and more good things. And as you do that, your vibration, your frequency, it elevates. And every time you elevate, like that, you feel good. So you want more of that. And there's ways to just stay there, as long as you don't focus on, like, going back and saying, okay, this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working. And so for me, like, Drew likes to use the action words,
Hmm.
and that's a secret that he has found to be really successful for him in tuning to a higher frequency. And for me, I feel like I feel the best when I am able to write down things that like, that empower me, and that I'm grateful for. And so saying things like, every day, everything is working out for me. Like, that to me is really powerful, because I truly believe that. I truly believe that even if something terrible happens, like, it's working out for me. And I might not know it in the moment.
Hmm.
I might not know it in the moment, but eventually it will be shown to me of how that, like, terrible thing
Right.
made me feel better, or got me up to, like, it gave me some benefit, right?
Yeah, and that's the intention of affirmations, and understanding they can be used in a variety of ways. I mean, think about that, just that fact, in that they can be used to empower you. They
Mhm,
really are an asset. It's like a bag of tricks that you're creating for yourself by
mhm,
making these statements that are unique and custom to you,
mhm,
labels that you want for yourself,
mhm,
actions that you're taking to improve yourself, words of empowerment that you're
mhm,
using to build yourself. And as you create these assets, right? Like if you ever, if filled out a diary or used a journal or some sort of keepsake for your memories, audio, video, visual, there's ways to be able to go back on and look back at these assets that you've created to have that lasting value, right? Something as simple as you take a photo of, some affirmations that you wrote down. Guess what? A year from now, if you got Google Photos on your phone, it's going to let you know that, hey, this was a picture
mhm.
that you took a year ago. And that might be on a day when you really need it. So all of a sudden, you kind of threw yourself an alley oop and hooked yourself up, where a year from now, that you might see a snapshot as a highlight
Mhm.
to come right up and say, wow, that was a pretty cool moment. I could use this right now, because it's still you.
Right. You can still
It's
feel it.
uniquely you. Yeah.
Right.
So even in the, where I was saying that, that I like to use the action-based affirmations, these can come back and benefit me later
Mhm,
and remind me that the actions that I was taking in that moment, a year ago. And if it's a seasonal type of thing,
mhm.
how well calibrated am I to those same activities? And that's part of this use model that we're talking about, is your affirmations can actually calibrate your mindset, your mood, and be used to keep you operating at that highest frequency to help you be your best you.
Right. And so, before we continue, I want to, like, offer to you guys some affirmations, or some words, some phrases, some statements that we have used, but also that other people have used with us. And those are affirmations that may or may not ring true to you. I want you to be able to look through the book, look through all of it, and see if there's some that do ring true and some that don't, because I think sometimes we just forget,
Hmm.
or we just are not aware of, like, positive words that do reflect our life and where we are in that moment. And so, go to livewithdefiniteness.com. The link is in the description below.
Hmm.
Just go to livewithdefiniteness.com. You can download our free ebook. It has over 750 affirmations, all for free. Just, you can have them. Just thumb through it and see if any of them do ring true to you. I feel like um, a lot of affirmations, and the word affirmations itself can get, has different connotations to different people, right? And some of it's positive, and some of it, just feels like, oh, that's a bunch of hokey pokey, or that's a bunch of lies that you're trying to say. Oh, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, and just by saying those words, you think you're going to become that. And that's not what we're saying here, but just the word, the affirmations, um it really helps just change your mindset. It changes your perspective, like, or it's an ability to change your perspective and to choose your perspective.
Hmm.
you know um you can't really say, like, think about a thermometer or thermostat, right? No matter what number that thermostat is on, you can't really say that there's no heat or that there's no cold.
Right.
Like, there's always a way to measure. Even if you're at like 100 degrees on the thermostat and you're like, there's no cold, there has to be some cold, otherwise it would be 110.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be 120. And the same goes true on the cold side. And so, if you're at thermostat level 100, you can choose to focus on the heat that is 100 degrees and the little bit of cold, or you can choose to focus on the cold and not focus on the heat so much. So it's all your perspective. In any moment, any of this stuff is your choice of your perspective.
Hmm. So yeah, we are super excited to be able to share these affirmations and take advantage of that offer. Seriously, you can find that there's something that can be used. They can obviously be customized to you
Mhm,
and used to empower you, used to be modified to state the actions that you're taking to move yourself towards a desired
mhm,
outcome. Right. Or they can just be used as to create those labels, to create that verbiage that you haven't heard. I am a leader. I am powerful. I am strong, right? I am capable. The things that we don't always tell ourselves, or unfortunately hear from those around us, whether they love us or not. So keeping some of these simple things in mind is going to be a very effective way to take advantage of, wow, these are such simple sentences, but they're easy to remember, something I can very quickly build, possibly a new positive habit around by
Mhm.
saying these statements and starting to kind of get myself calibrated to a better frequency.
Right. It's all about calibrations. It's not about just saying false statements to yourself.
Hmm.
False statements don't make you feel good. False statements will lower your vibration,
Right.
and it will make the things that you want elude you even more.
Hmm.
So use positive statements to affirm yourself, to elevate yourself. The best things you can do are the love, the praise, the gratitude, the celebratory things, celebrating your wins and
Hmm.
recognizing that everything, whether it's clearly a win or it's a lesson, either way, you're winning because you're learning. So we appreciate you being here today. Make sure, if you haven't already, click on the like button below for the video and the subscribe, the notification bell, so that you get notified whenever we do go live and drop new videos. Also, feel free to search for the Get Better 7 Days at a Time Facebook group, where you can join a community of us who are all about just getting better each day in 7 day increments. So it's not too much to take on at any given time. So we hope to see you there and look forward to seeing you on the other side.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.